So we ensured that each villages has got the proper health facilities are available. So we made our mobile ambulances 5 in number. So every day each villages our mobile health van will go with the doctor and will ensure that the basic needs are there provided. So that was quite a good, and all the peoples were happy. We used to take our van stop there at each locations with the predetermined schedule.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast series by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. I am Rajesh Joshi, and today we are honored to have with us a distinguished leader whose journey in the steel and power industry spans an incredible 38 years. From starting as a trainee engineer to rising to CEO, his legacy is marked by exceptional achievements in business turnarounds, large scale project execution, and mergers and acquisitions. Currently serving as an independent director at Desai Cement and Sterlite Iron and Power, Vedanta, it's my privilege to welcome Mr. Navnath Vhatte to the podcast. Mr. Vhatte, we are pleased to have you with us today.
Thanks, Rajesh. Really, I appreciate Director Institute for featuring us with the future leaders, where the leaders are heard by the general public.
Great, sir. Let me start this conversation by saying they say great leaders don't set out to be leaders, they set out to make a difference. Starting as a trainee engineer and rising to CEO, can you share some early experiences that laid the foundation for your remarkable journey?
Yeah. In fact, I joined Kalyan Steel in 1985 after my diploma in electrical engineering in a maintenance department. And fortunately, the department was a combined for all electrical, mechanical, automation, and civil. And all the peoples used to have a chance to work with any of the stream whichever they like. But naturally, whosoever has studied his field, he used to work in that. But then I realized that any of the problem when an individual engineer goes a mechanical or electrical, many times he doesn't solve that problem because he goes and says, for example, if it is a pump starting problem, he will say that it's the electrical problem if mechanical one goes, or if another one goes, he says it is automation problem. Then I realized I must learn all the things. Although electrical, it was easy for me to understand all the things, and I did not leave any field to learning. So when I used to go, I used to understand is the pump is sucking the air, or is the PLC signal is not there, or is the motor is not moving. And that made my base, you can say, where I could provide a complete solution to my customers. And where I used to solve the problem, I used to have a fulfilling experience. So I would say that was my really base, what happened in the Kalyan Steel. And I really thanks to the management of the Kalyan Steel, where they give me such a foundational experience. That would say a base for me to go. Second instance I would narrate was that after working in the Kalyan Steel, I joined in Sesa Goa in 1994. And after completion of challenging jobs like project works and everything, so as you know that when company starts running smoothly, you become a complacent. And that is where I realized that my growth has stagnated. And then I thought, I must leave the company for a future growth. And I happened to give an interview at Ispat Industries. Now it is a JSW, I think, Pale near Mumbai. And interviewer remarked that he said, you have got a great experience, you have got a great career. But let me tell you something, your salary is almost double what my engineers get for the job or responsibility which you have got just 50%. That was, you can say, awakening call for me. And I realized that I think I'm becoming a sort of an obsolete. And when I come back and then I said, no, if I remain over here, I will just retire as the head of the department of the maintenance department, and I must do something. And that is how I started taking my interest into the production, although I was working in a steel company, so it's a metallurgy something. But I started taking the full-fledged interest in the production, is a marketing, is a commercial. including, CSR, ER, PR, all the things, whatever it comes. And then I realized that really, people are liking that because hardly any few people used to come forward to take that, lead to work for somebody else. And then that gave me the completely unique experience, skill set of this one, and which ultimately I would say led when the management was not having any person. They said, "Okay, Vhatte is the best person to lead our business," and that's how I became a general manager of the plant that time. And I realized that what it takes is generally responsibilities are not given; they are grabbed. And what
Right.
it takes is only an extra mile to walk. That's all. So that was, you can say, foundation for my CEO going forward. Thanks, Rajesh, for asking the pertinent question.
Wow, wow, wow. Mr. Bhatte, your story of starting as a trainee engineer and rising to CEO is truly inspiring. Hearing about the foundational experiences that shaped your leadership journey offers valuable lessons for aspiring professionals, especially the last point that you made, that responsibilities, you don't have to wait for responsibilities to fall upon you. You need to go ahead and grab them and take ownership of all those responsibilities, and doors may open, very often than not the doors do open, as you have cited in your example. And many people say growth and comfort cannot coexist. Yet you drove remarkable expansion at Sesa Goa Vedanta, increasing pig iron production by 300%. What challenges did you face during this transformation, and how did you overcome them to achieve such unprecedented growth?
Rajesh, you're absolutely right. Saying, growth and comfort doesn't go together. It's very right. In fact, during those days in 1994 to, you can say, 2007 or 1996 to 2007, it was Mitsui who was a major stakeholders in the Sesa Goa. And Mitsui was a very big giant. And for them, Sesa Goa was only 1% of the business. And within Sesa Goa, our pig iron business was further small.
Okay.
And they were not very much interested into the expansion of this Sesa Goa. And it was majorly they used to trade in the iron ore, and that is how Sesa Goa was the major, I would say, the largest private exporter of the iron ore in India. So then I realized that if expansion doesn't happen here, growth doesn't happen, we also will not grow.
Right.
But fortunately for our, I would say, for company as well as for employees, Vedanta took over this Sesa Goa in 2007.
Okay.
And that is where, and Vedanta is very aggressive, as you know. And they said that, yeah, we would not like to run the business as it is, and we want to expand, not to the double or treble, but to its potential maximum portion. And that was a really great challenge for us, and we were sitting on the huge land along with us doing nothing in our plant. And we at that time producing around 0.25 million tons of pig iron just. And then I said, we can go for the 1 million tons of the steel pig iron plant. And then said, okay, go ahead. So immediate concern was for us was the land, which was there, but it was unfortunately bifurcated by a 220 kV line, which government has drawn from our land. And that, unless that line is shifted, you can't make any expansion over. So that was a project which I undertook, and then with nice external relations and public relations with the government people and the local people, we drew that project very on a war footing basis, and we got that completely line, almost 25 to 20 poles shifted out of our plant. So land was got cleared. As soon as land got cleared, we made a very nice presentation, studied the market, what is the market, and our market was very nice. Because otherwise, majority of the pig irons was coming from the steel companies, from the Vizag and all that towards the Western Maharashtra. So we said, if we are sitting on the Goa, which is the hub of the foundries, we must, I just say, most going to be the most profitable business. We made a nice presentation how we can absorb 1 million ton can be absorbed in the market, and with how the EBITDA can be increased almost 5 times with a capex of, I think that time what we required was only 600 crores. We went very nice presentation with the help of my seniors and colleagues. We presented to the Vedanta board, And after 2-3 hour rounds of discussions, we got the approval from that. So that was something which was most crucial for this plan. Then, of course, what this was the technology and execution. Technology, naturally, it was the Chinese, which was the most cheapest technology and which was upgradable as well. So we went for the Chinese technology, finalized this one, and we completed the project within a 2 years time. So that took us almost, our capacity took it to the almost 2.5 times than existing capacity for 2. And then we did, once new capacity was in the place, we said that okay, let's debottleneck our existing blast furnaces, which was the easiest job because that we got it done. And we very soon we were, almost capacity more than the 300% we were producing over here. So I think key issues were only local support. So that was we done a wonderful one job that we said the locals, because I understood that if it's this my business, it is a benefit to the local people, then only they will support. So getting statutory approval and license from the society was I always used to consider is the most important to run the business. Statutory license comes secondary. So that was, we took on the whole local peoples with us, state government with us. And in turn, they supported us to get this project done faster basis. So I think that was the thing which very soon we were producing. We are the largest pig iron producer in the whole of India.
Wow! Phenomenal. I mean, just while you were running us through the entire course of events, I mean, I literally got goosebumps. Somebody who comes up with a vision to actually take an organization, and the first point that you made, that if I have to grow, the company needs to grow. And with that thought, you actually look at where do you stand, what are your strengths, what is the weakness, addressing the weaknesses, looking at the local support. Absolutely phenomenal, sir. I mean, this achievement of increasing production by 300% is nothing short of extraordinary. Your ability to face challenges head on and drive growth is a testament to your strategic vision and perseverance, and hats off to you for that, sir. As they say again, sir, a true leader sees opportunity in the face of adversity. When you revitalized ESL Steel and expanded its capacity amidst regulatory and operational hurdles, what strategies allowed you to turn challenges into milestones of success? Now, this question is immediately on the heels of the earlier one, because me, along with all our viewers, are now really interested in how did you do this part now?
Yeah, thanks, Rajesh. Incidentally, as you know, Vedanta Group is a major aluminum, zinc, copper. They're the main strengths. Steel was new for them. So Sesa Goa was the only business which was having the steel arm with Vedanta. Now, as you know, Vedanta is always aiming to expand. So when this new NCLT law came, so a lot of companies were on the board for sale. So that way, ESL Steel was also, which is earlier name was Electro Steel Castings. So that was also on the sale. So naturally, I was the leading our management and team from the due diligence point of view for taking the ESL. So I was gone through the each and every issue ESL was facing and why they refer to the NCLT, why company became sick and all that. And ultimately, we took over that company. So once after taking over, management thought that let's have someone from the steel business over there. It was run for 1 or 2 years. Then ultimately they said, no, Mr. Vhatte, you should go and head this business. So since I was already aware of the issues, it was very easy for me to start directly on the jobs. So one of the important thing was that business was running without environment clearance. And for first few years, it ran on the approval from the Jharkhand Pollution Control Board approval without having the environment clearance. And subsequently, when the pollution control also did not give them the clearance, then management had to go to the court, and then with the help of Supreme Court order, the plant was running. So incidentally, when I went over there, it was the order of the Supreme Court, this plant was running. So I thought we can't run, such a big plant without really approval from the statutory bodies and the government authorities, right? With their rare license. So I said, let me see, even if we don't have the pollution control board approval, but let me follow all the norms that it takes, or better the norms, than what are stipulated. So we
Mhm.
set right, every noise pollution level, noise levels, our emissions levels, all our the other systems which are required to be within the strategy proposal. We did that on the ground, and then we called the statutory officers, government pollution control people, CMO. And I said, we study, you look at, you come as per wherever you feel the time, come, and they studied everything, and they said that this plant, although they are not supposed to run, because since our approval is not there, but they are complying with all the stipulated conditions much better than that. And that
Wow.
state government's report, along with the public's support, that report went to the MOEF, Ministry of Environment and this one, and they gave us environment clearance up. So,
Okay.
so that was the first thing before we do anything on the plant to get that approval. Of course, that subsequently a little bit got stay on because of the forest clearance. We had to give the land. But it was, in principle, they gave technicality approval. After
Mhm.
that, the second thing, what was there in the ESL, I was knowing that many of the people's good talent has left, because since plant doesn't have the environment clearance and then, is making the losses, many of the good talent has left. And then our management, Vedanta principal, management principle is that you will generally recruit at the trainee levels, not at the experience level, unless it is really very strategic. But then I convince our management, seeing that a lot of experienced talent has gone and we have to have it. I got the approval from my internal management. Then we also made a scheme to retain the good talent over here, which is there. So that was the first front we handled, that keeping the people, because without the people, it doesn't make any sense. You can't have people are the best assets of any of the industry house. Once
Absolutely.
right people are in the place, then what we found that most of the assets have been worked beyond their maintenance schedules. That means you can say production capability was compromised at the cost of the production. So,
Mhm.
so naturally, unless we fix up all the maintenance issues and structural issues with the plant, we could not run the operations in normal way, as well as even the increasing was beyond the expectation. So first of all, we have to take the shutdowns, all the small shutdowns, major shutdown, to fix up the assets, make the maintenance, make the gear up them for the normal production. Once we achieved the normal production with the right talent, there was no issue continuing. Then we started making the proper profits. And then subsequently we undertook the debottlenecking of each asset, whether it is a furnace, whether it is you can say pick casting machine or the rolling mill. And then we ensure that we increase the production within the existing assets by almost 20% within 2 years. That was very easy afterwards.
Wow, wow. I like it when you say that was very easy. You know, and then when you take us through the entire thing, it is like, yes, oh, really? And then you complete your your entire story by saying that was really easy. And it is amazing, sir. It is amazing. Revitalizing ESL Steel, expanding its capacity, retaining talent, coordinating and collaborating with local people, local interests, and then at the same time looking at what the statutory requirements are, and turning around an organization from getting it from an NCLT and turning it around into a profit-making organization. Absolutely phenomenal, sir. Absolutely phenomenal. You mentioned about local interests. You also mentioned about hinting about sustainability. So sustainability is no longer about doing less harm. It is about doing more good. So, in what ways have ESG frameworks transformed your approach to managing industrial operations, particularly in areas like energy efficiency, environmental compliance, and so on?
Thanks, Rajesh, for this very pertinent questions and very important question, I would say. Fortunately, Vedanta, what's being a multinational in many of the nations their presence, they were having the systems, ESG systems so strong, which
Mhm.
really takes it to the account till the last person of the society. So naturally, we had to follow that framework as well. So that was a sort of a guiding principle for us. But specifically, we did ensure that, because this plant was enclosed by around 43 villages, whose like around 1.5 million ton steel capacity. So many
Mhm.
villages around that. And their expectations were quite a lot. And as you know, you having the limited resources, you can't really uh, go to the, make the everybody's expectation to compare to. So that was, but then what we said that key, at least let people know that key, we are making a sincere efforts to
Mhm.
ensuring that key, whatever the best we can do to our ability, we are doing that. So first thing was the health. Being Bokaro, as you know, that backward area, a lot of Adivasi area over there, 43 villages. So we ensured that each villages has got the proper health facilities are available. So we made our mobile ambulances 5 in number. So every day, each villages, our mobile health van will go with the doctor and will ensure that the basic needs are there provided. So that was quite a good, and it all the peoples were happy. We used to take our van shop there at each locations with the predetermined schedule. That was made excellent impact, I would say, on the society. Second thing, logically employment, but employment you can't give it to everybody. But yes, whatever the skill available and we are needed, we had put the external agency who is to match the skills, what we need and what is available. So we used to give them the first preference to the locals to get into our system, whether directly or through the contractor system. So that ensured that people get the employment, people got the confidence. And then naturally, whenever we have to get it, we also used to explain to the, you can say, influencers, society influence, if we have to get it, why we have to get it outside, how it is not available. So they used to also convince that, okay. So we took the society, or you can say local people on board with this one. Third point, what we did that there are many skills which we may not have opportunity in our plant, but then definitely there in demand, like say tailoring or solar
Mhm.
panels. So we opened up the schools over there in our plant area only, nearby external to the interfacing the villages, where we started the classes for the solar panel repairs, tailoring, and we used a lot of batches, continuously batches, along with the bringing the students, giving the skills, and bringing the outside organizations to the employment, do the you can say the employment opportunities to locals, and
Mhm.
all the batches used to get placements. So that we went on doing. So that was also another thing where people like, okay, this is something is good. Then for the farmers, what a lot of the land was, was not growing anything. So we went ahead with this, collaborated with the government agencies and bring in these farmers, and we ensure that they get the water, they get the seeds, they get the labors, whatever they require, so they cultivate, and we started.
Mhm.
So that way, around almost 1,000 acres land, we ensured that we come under the irrigation. Second,
Wow.
we also ensure that locals, they don't have any motivation or incentives for coming up the teachers when in their colleges. So went on providing the sort of scholarship, for providing the basic books and all that to all the nearby villages, colleges, whereby whoever student comes, give them specialized skills, specialized classes, coaching classes. So which that also helped into the bringing it down. So once
Right.
you have the locals approval to run the plant, in-house is your internal sort of expertise. So naturally, there are many agencies who come to and do your energy audit provided with this one. So we went on providing the solar panels. We went on changing the energy efficiency machines. We carried out whether it's the water audit or energy audit, and that was very simple once you have the external agency on board with you. So these were I would say some of the things which helps to sustain the operations.
Right, right, right. So your perspective on ESG framework, redefining industrial operations is enlightening. I mean, the ways you've integrated sustainability into areas like energy efficiency and compliance demonstrates how leadership can truly drive positive change. And all the activities that you just mentioned, I would say excellence is never an accident. It is a result of sincere effort and intelligent execution. Which actually brings me to a question of all your achievements. Which project do you consider your most rewarding and what impact did it leave on your professional journey?
Uh, yeah, thanks, Rajesh, for this very interesting questions. So one of the project which came to my mind is, which taught me a lot of lessons. I would say, I, as you know, basically I'm an electrical engineer. But
Mm-hmm.
incidentally, once I attended the workshop on the boilers, and then I realized that we are burning the furnace oil to the tune of almost 20 crore rupees in 1998. Whereas new technology is there where they are, you don't need to burn the furnace oil and you can only run a boiler on blast furnace gas. Blast
Mm-hmm.
furnace gas is a gas which has got a low calorific value, but yes, it is a self-sustainable. But that technology was not there in the boiler, which was probably made in 1990s. So we said that I think we must do, and I said, let me lead that one. Although I was not having the experience, but that zeal was there, that motivation was there, because it can make a difference in the, because that time our organization or our company was making a profit in a single digit, 5 crore, 6 crore. An
Mm-hmm.
expenditure of 20 crore was really is a, is astounding.
Big
So I
ticket.
said, and then we worked very hard. I took the help of the externals, peoples, our colleagues, did different experiments, right from, in fact, as food as experiment, I would say, we used to burn the candle and we used to put the flame sensor and see how it affects, how fluctuation takes place. But that ultimately led to the, once you start, on any other project, then you get the lot of inputs. Then we found that how the best sensors are there, flame sensor, how the heat sensors are there. We got it all because we can't compromise the safety. Boiler,
Right.
if safety is compromised, it can explode.
Right.
So without compromising safety, after the efforts of almost 3 months consistently, that really gave the result and we stopped the furnace. So you can imagine on furnace, stop there means we excess blast furnace gas which was being flared that got utilized in the boiler. Furnace
Mm-hmm.
oil tankers completely stopped and company made a huge profit. It was a great visibility for me also and my team as well. But I learned one lesson in that once your mind conceives an idea and if you really pursue with that idea, sometimes whole universe really supports you when it is
Uh,
in this one. And that is not knowing anything ABCD about this flame or flame sensors or the gas and all that. I found that I could take on my colleagues, whole team, and with their help and cooperation, with the guidance from the space, really we could do that. A second thing, also here I learned one thing. I also because when you find that you're not going, sometimes then you start retarding mood. But my boss used to every day come and used to come in my front of my room and used to say, "Bhatte, uska kya ho gaya? What happened to
uh-huh.
all the project?" I used to one day has gone, 1 week has gone, 3 weeks, 1 month has passed. I said, "Now how can I face my boss?" So I started running away before he comes to my room. So I understood it is a fall of if had he not followed up this with me so rigorously, probably I would have also not gone to that one.
Right.
So
Right.
somebody needs to the follow. So this is something project I always remember, although this has happened in 1998. But I would
Wow.
say that is something which gave a huge visibility to my organization within Sesa Group, to me within my group and my colleagues, and really it made a big difference, I would say, to the
So, and
organization's capability. Original means OEM equipment manufacturer Thermax gave in return, this boiler can't take out of the furnace oil. If you are
uh-huh.
doing, it can create a major explosion.
Okay.
They gave in writing. And with that, my senior sometimes, higher up management, every time, whenever they will say, we will not ask you about that project because that is serious. You think about that. So it was such a tight rope walk, I would say. One side is this, one side is this. But I thank my boss and my colleagues to really drive. But sometimes, in spite of all adversities, you can still uh, do the things if it is on the right path. That is what I really.
Absolutely, absolutely, sir. As they say, fortune always favors the brave and the initiated. And I'm sure the supported. So I believe you definitely were blessed with a good leader. Which brings me to the fact that leadership is not about being in charge, but taking care of those in your charge. What advice would you give to aspiring professionals about fostering leadership skills while building a sustainable and impactful career in heavy industries?
Thanks, Rajesh, for the really a very important question. I always love teaching. So as in fact, last 5 years of my office, I would say 20 to 30% of my time I used to spend with my colleagues, my young employees, to sort of have interaction with them. get the
Mhm.
inputs from them, provide probably sometimes feedback and sometimes advice. So I used to love that. And some of the things what I have felt in my life, many times people criticize you very, very badly.
Mhm.
And uh, if you take that criticism to the heart, you get demotivated.
Mhm.
But if you really make that criticism to drive the motivation, it makes a big difference. It can act as a really big motivator. So whenever someone has criticized me, always one thing I've done is I put myself into shoes of him and seen that whatever he is saying, does it make sense?
Mhm.
And if it makes sense, I must make a change. And that is something which has always, I would say, helped me. So really, I love that. So when somebody criticizes, I never go back and start. So that is one thing I would advise my new young leaders coming up. Ki, bhaiya, criticism, don't take it into the other way around. Take it as a sort of a motivator. It can really transform for yourself if you take it in the right way. Second thing I always learned, once what happened when I was changed, my unit was changed from the coke Kembla to the Pigan plant. I was earlier reporting to the CEO, and they made me to report to the same category of my manager,
Okay.
the deputy manager. So almost 3 grade downs. It felt very
Mhm.
bad. But then I realized my colleague manager, who is going to be my new boss, he has got a lot of areas to handle, which earlier I was not having exposure.
Mhm.
So I said, let me really work, learn all the things. And then, that is one actually boiler I explained you that how it
Right.
made me to change completely. And then I realized whatever you feel a setback today, it maybe don't feel bad, but it can really change your life. Trust the process. That is something which I will tell the young audience ki bhaiya, don't feel whenever sometimes things go wrong because you don't know what is right for you. Somebody else knows what is right for you. So that
Right.
is something which I do. Third thing which I already said that responsibilities are not given. They are taken. Only what it takes is walk an extra mile. So never just do what is asked to you. Do what best you can do within that area. So I think that is something which I would always advise my young leaders. Fourth point, always I know ki everybody likes the people, those who appreciate, talks good of him. But when you are in boss, nobody will come and tell you that you are making the mistakes.
Mhm.
No. So then how do you change? How I will improve? So what I used to do, when my meeting used to start once in a week or once in a fortnight, I used to say, okay, chalo, let's have the discussion. But before discussion, I want you all people to put it on the screen key, what all the you people feel that key some of the challenges I face or drawbacks I have, which I need to improve. Whether it's a behavioral improvement or whether it's the way I connect with you people, relationship, please put it so that it helps me too. So I will not ask who has written, who has mentioned, put it on this, so I'll act on that. So that I used to do religiously every 2 months, 3 months. So and then I used to give, but this is what I want to do. You find any improvements? So I think all people, young generation, I would advise, ask your close up, make your accountability friends, and ask them what changes you must make it. Only they can tell you. Those who are the closest to you, they can find the drawbacks in you, not everybody else. So that is something which I feel very important. Second thing is that which helped me is the another open door policy. I never afraid of talking to the last person in the organization, with the labor, with the security person. And my door used to be always open since I used to happen to work little late. So anybody whosoever is there used to can come. So there was never restriction for anybody other than the scheduled meeting. So open door helped me, we get a lot of things to know, which otherwise it would have been not possible to get through the officials.
Right. Right.
And last, I would say lead by example. So, which unless whatever you talks and all that, but if you don't really follow yourself, it's not going to be heard by others and not going to be followed. So, do through your actions show that. So always, I did that one. Ensure that one whenever I'm in the plant, shop floor, or in the office. Unless I do myself, I will never ever ask somebody to put it. In simple as if I have to, some employee has to work 24 hours. If unless I have put myself, I will never ask him to. So that was something which my advice would be the new people.
Wow, 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 wow. So your advice for aspiring professionals in heavy industries, and rather to everybody in general, is both practical and inspiring, and with a lot of heart, I must say. Consciously, proactively seeking constructive feedback about improvement areas within you is not everybody's cup of tea. It really takes a lot of resolve, a lot of commitment to the entire process to make it feel genuine. Otherwise, it will not really work. And since you've been doing that for so long, I'm 100% sure that you've really put in a lot of effort to actually make the people providing the feedback feel that they've been heard and acted upon. So that's absolutely wonderful, sir. I really wish we could really go on with this conversation because there is so much more to learn from you. However, due to paucity of time, we come to the last question. How has your association with Directors Institute influenced your leadership approach? And what aspects of the experience have resonated with you the most?
Thanks, Rajesh. In fact, as you know, that I'm a director and CEO, whole-time director for last 4 5 years. I work in that place, but
Right.
many of the technicalities I was not knowing that time. So whether it's a compliances requirement, why board so is insisting on the compliance requirements, or why some job has to be done within 15 days, or why third party approach and all these things. Now, once I started this course, really I found that a lot of insight it is giving actually to me why something has to be done. And their director institutes classes which they conduct weekly, the Chanakya view classes, somewhere practical hints and how the something can go wrong. They're covering all these very, very important things. Or even say program like this with FTWEL, and their contents of the course, I would say, is really challenging and very, very interesting to really means, to lead the board, to lead the company. And not only it takes only technicality, but it also shows the why it should be done. Their
Mhm.
audio visual videos are quite fantastic. I really like that one. And I hope it will, all the people aspiring board leaders would, I recommend them to go through that.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, your insights have been incredibly valuable, Mr. Vatte. Needless to say, it has been a privilege to learn about your extraordinary journey, your contributions towards advancements, and your unwavering commitment to sustainability and ethical leadership. We at Directors Institute wish you continued success and all the best in your future endeavors, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajesh, for wonderful interview.
Sure, sir,
Thank you.
the pleasure was all ours. We look forward to sharing more inspiring stories and insights from remarkable leaders in our next session. Until then, keep upskilling and finding joy in your journey. This is Rajesh Joshi signing off.